Welcome
Well, howdy do.
to a special episode of the Superhero Spoiler Show. I've been watching a lot of D&D stuff and anime stuff, and VOX MACHINA Season 2 dropped a couple weeks ago with boom. And I thought we needed to talk about it. So, thanks for joining me, Larry, as usual, kind of my co-host on Spoiler Shows. How are you?
I am awesome. And I am loving it. I mean, it just went right out of the gate. Awesome.
Nice.
Having a good time.
Nikki's joining us. Welcome.
Hi.
You are in our D&D Lego campaign, Critical Bricks, and first time joining our spoiler breakdown format. So jump in anytime, talk about anything cool, whatever characters, whatever story. We're gonna put up a spoiler warning for people watching. This is a spoiler show of the worst team ever assembled. VOX MACHINA. We're going to talk Season 2. They dropped Episode 1 through 3 a week ago on Friday and gave us another 3 episodes, 4 through 6. If that's the trend, I'm in. I like being able to binge the show.
Same.
I like 2 episodes, actually. When I was watching Stranger Things, 2 episodes seemed to keep me in the story. But 3 for this one definitely paid off. How are you guys watching streaming stuff?
Oh, I mean, pretty much Friday morning, I'm watching right away. As soon as it comes on, I'm going putting it right on the big screen. And
I know Larry's poking at me before I even have cereal. He's watched the show.
Right? No, I just finished episode 6 last night because I've been behind, but now I'm caught up.
Nice. Yeah, I was. I haven't done the spoiler show since I don't know what. Something Disney, something Marvel.
Was it? We tried to do She-Hulk, didn't we?
Yeah, I think we dropped off on She-Hulk. We did one, and it was I'll do the whole season, and then that's about it. So Ant-Man's coming up, Quantumania.
Yes.
We'll probably have to see that for sure, and probably have to do another breakdown. So
indeed,
if you're out there and you like this kind of content, Lego community people talking about superhero stuff, movies, and now TV shows. We're covering a lot of Disney Plus. So The Legend of VOX MACHINA is on Amazon Prime. And the episode order. So what I like to do is give you guys a timeline, keep us talking about each episode, and we'll talk about what's cool and what's funny, and probably just keep it really casual. So let's get into it. You guys ready?
Ready, Freddy.
All right. So, episode 1, The Rise of Chroma Conclave.
Yes.
Nice.
I love it.
Dragons. They put the dragons in Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah, they did.
Yes.
We're not going to break down season 1, but that season was very Percy, Whitestone, and then this one we get an arc of they killed the dragon last season, weren't you saying, Larry?
Yeah, so right at the before they even get into Percy's story, they run across Brimstone, the blue dragon.
Oh yeah.
And defeat him, and Vexalia kills Brimstone in that.
And there's these eyeballs that watch them intruders.
Yep.
And there were 4 of them, and we have 4 dragons in what's left of the Chroma Conclave. And this all takes place in
Taldori, right?
Taldori.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And it starts when they're in Iman, and they show up. We saw a lot of that in the previews, but we did not see the decimation until this episode.
Right.
Until that first episode. Oh my gosh.
The poor king or sovereign, Uriel of Taldori, voiced by Carrie Payton, awesome actor and voice actor, is giving his he's giving up the crown.
Yeah.
And he's like ready to hand it over to the council of Taldori, which if you listen to Critical Role, we should probably say the word and give them props for playing these characters so awesome in D&D.
Oh yeah.
Crowdfunding an animated series and then voicing it themselves. So props to them. I mean, voice actors doing what they do, and then getting to do their own characters.
So amazing.
So and I just hats off to Matt Mercer, because he's not a designated character. He's every other character.
Right.
Yes. As a new DM, I am definitely impressed with skills. That guy's got skills. And setting up these scenes, man. So you have Iman is like the capital city here of Westrun or something, and the dragons come right in the middle of this guy's speech. 1, 2, 3, just raising hell.
Yeah. Decimating the city.
Yeah, at first it's hard to tell what's going on. It's one of those shows where you have to kind of watch it twice, because they story tell as much as possible and chop things up. So, like, did you guys catch? I mean, if you're big D&D fans, probably. What do you think, Nikki? Did you know all these dragons? Can you name the color and the breath style of the 4 dragons?
Most of them, probably, yes. I knew there was the red dragon, which was fire.
Fire, yeah.
Then we have black.
Thordak.
Yes. Yep. Then
Thordak
he
is
has
fire.
poison
Yep,
or acid, right?
So I'm trying to figure out, and I was a little confused between the black dragon and the green dragon.
Yeah.
So I think the black dragon and the green dragon have similar things they do. Although the green dragon, Rashawn, she just drips acid.
Yes.
Because she's diseased.
Nope. Black
Other
is
way.
acid. Green is poison.
Or poison.
And Rashawn is green. And Umbrasil is the black acid raining dragon, which is just...
Oh, he's the one that rains the acid.
And he's like flapping his wings and just raining acid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I was quite confused, because their powers are similar. Like poison versus acid, it's like how does it affect them though?
That it's kind of what I was getting at though. Like when I was confused watching it, because they're both kind of green, right?
Right.
With green acid raining down, you have green puffs of smoke, poison gas.
Exactly.
So Rashawn is the poison gas, and that's what kills King Uriel.
Yes. Okay, that makes more sense.
Outside the bubble. Okay.
Yep. Right.
I kind of thought they were the same thing, because it's kind of like when the acid rain falls, there's a lot of sizzling and all that. So I guess that makes sense.
And the black dragon didn't look exactly how I know him to look. It's more skeleton-like, so that was a little bit of a graphic.
Oh, I thought the art on them was so epic, though.
Well, I agree. It just
so
seemed
incredible.
like they're the skeleton, though.
Yeah.
Did you notice that, or was it just me?
I didn't notice he was skeleton. We haven't really seen the black dragon.
I think it goes into that acid, right? Like it's secreting acid, like sweating acid out its pores and going everywhere. So I think it would be tough for it to keep its flesh.
Right, that makes sense.
By the by, the Brick Babe is here.
Hi, Brick Babe.
What's going on, Brick Babe? Thanks for tuning in. And
yeah, that was just such just the devastation was so awesome. And because
And
I hate it when they downplay dragons. You know,
right.
in most every, I mean, even if you look at, I thought these dragons out-dragoned even Smaug from The Hobbit.
Yeah. Well, you don't see a team of dragons.
Right.
Usually one legendary beast is enough.
Yeah.
But the 4, so they really upped the ante on these characters. And
especially in D&D though too. They usually don't come together.
Yeah.
Right. They're hoarding, like, you know, they don't work together. They like to hoard. They're greedy, you know, they don't work together.
Dragons have egos. They don't like to share power.
So maybe that will be the downfall of some of them, not all. I'm sure they'll have to battle quite intensely, and we'll talk about it later when we talk about the Sphinx and how the second Sphinx was defeated, or his riddle, or whatever you want to call it. But let's talk about that last ice dragon, Vorugol or something like that. Is the white dragon?
Yeah, Vorugol. I loved his power in that people kind of exploded in the ice. He would like make them, like the ice would like go through him, and then I thought that was so cool because it was different than every other ice dragon you see. I mean, they're frozen, but these like people were just like,
yeah,
it was scary. I was scared.
Like you would think, you know, a sheet of sleet, ice freezing like way below zero ice somehow. That's just like makes you pop and freeze all at once.
Yeah.
Craziness. So these dragons are the big bad guys, and
big ancient dragons.
Yes,
ancient. We're talking, ancient dragons, because part of the lore is that the fire dragon has this big crest in its chest, which was like an anchor to the fire realm, and somehow he must have figured out how to escape and basically harness that gem and basically get out with the gem instead of the gem keeping him there. So that'll be interesting to see what's going on. So dragons. What else? Dragons.
Let's see.
We got our characters. We should probably go down our cast. Our antagonist league good guys. They're funny, and I hope you guys are gelling to a team that's going to be working together sometimes and sometimes not so well.
We shall see.
Yes.
So on this screen anyway, we have Keyleth, our druid, Arashante, very, very different. Do you know about this? Her character, Nikki? Arashari.
Just what I've learned from Critical Role. She has to go through 4 Eremite, which are basically, she needs to gain the master. She's kind of like a airbender, waterbender, earthbender. That's what I kind of see her as.
Like that, yeah.
Yeah. So she has to go get the power and get, I don't think, it's not accreditation, but something similar to that, for the fire, earth, air, and water. Before she can get her Eremite.
Pretty cool. Yeah, I didn't know all of that about Keyleth. I just thought she was just a super good druid. But she has also like guardian of elemental portal power. So
yes, that was really cool.
That's awesome.
I want that power.
Right? You're on your way. You got your water gin druid is definitely a good start.
Absolutely. I have my waterbender.
Larry, who do we got that's close to your class?
That'll be Vax.
Yes.
Vax is Vax, but he's kind of the team thief a little bit more than a ranger. But I mean, as far as weapons go, I mean, when I do my character, I actually think a lot of Vax in the way that he wields his 2 I think his are more daggers, but you know, the two-bladed attack that he has, you know, he doesn't use the bow like Vex does, but he's also half elf. So I definitely I look at him and I'm like, yeah, that's me. I want to be that guy.
Half elf assassin, and his sister, twin sister, I believe, in the show is
Vexalia.
Vex, and she's a half elf ranger, beastmaster, because she gets to control Trinket and other cool things.
I love Trinket.
Yeah. So Liam O'Brien, the guy that does the voice for Vax, also does the White Dragon.
Ooh.
And Matt does the Black Dragon. Matt Mercer.
Okay.
Nice.
And did you know that David Tennant did the Blue Dragon in season 1?
Yes.
I did not.
Yeah.
David Tennant. Yes. Doctor Who.
Mm-hmm,
Yes.
Dragon. Cool. So we got half the cast there on the right of the screen covered. Short guys in the middle are Scanlan and Pike. So we have our bard and our cleric or paladin, maybe? I think she's a paladin.
She's a cleric.
Is she a cleric? Okay.
Yeah.
She's definitely on the side of the Everlight and curing people, and but does armor up pretty heavy. And
She's a foul-mouthed little holy person, isn't she?
She really is.
I think they're all a little foul, yes. Especially Scanlan.
Which is fine.
Scanlan's hilarious.
Dude, I love Scanlan. At first I was like, really? Who's this guy? And now he's like one of my favorite characters.
Right. Bards are so amazing in fifth ed.
Yeah.
I'm like, maybe I'm gonna be a bard someday.
Yeah,
Try
if you
that
just
character.
look at the features and like how you can optimize wearing certain armors and having spells and attacking, bards are pretty cool. So no surprise there. This guy is larger than his stature.
Absolutely.
Well
With his
put.
hand. Most of the time.
Scanlan's hand!
Except when he uses his foot.
Scanlan's foot!
So we have another kind of dynamic duo here with our muscle, our barbarian Grog, and Percy. Our what is Percy's class?
He's a human gunslinger.
Artificer?
Yeah, they had to, I guess, modify the rules to get. So Matt had to modify some rules to allow Percy's character into this realm, I guess you'd say.
Yeah, they started off with Pathfinder and then decided to move on to 5th Ed when they started doing Critical Role through YouTube. So that's when they decided he still wanted to be a gunslinger, so they modified it to fit the 5th Ed role.
Hey, Ivan's here.
Ivan, what's up?
Ivan.
Hitting some low prices on some sets.
Nice.
So there's our cast. Other than Trinket, wasn't shown in that photo anyway, but we'll talk about that more later. Beyond that, we've got Gilmore making a decent appearance in this first episode. His poor shop and the whole city gets destroyed, but they race back to Gilmore's glorious goods, at least what remains of it, and he's like, go ahead and take everything, whatever you can find. And we find out later what some of those magical properties are. Grog gets a belt, Scanlan gets a broom, I think Vex grabs some magic arrows, etc. So it's all about magic and dragons. Gilmore kind of saves the day and teleports them out with some sort of gem, and they go back to their keep. What's up, Troy? Agents of Mod.
Troy! What is up?
I believe they named their house Grayskull.
That they
Yeah.
did. Their keep, yep.
So a little He-Man reference there, maybe. Castle Grayskull.
Did you watch the first season of Vox Machina on Critical Role?
Yeah, so I think
So a
what
fan
happened
sent
was-
them. They sent them a castle. One of the fans did.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
Find
yeah.
the show, yeah.
Castle
Because the
Grayskull.
fans were always sending them food while they were doing the show. I'm like,
Yeah.
just wait until your show is big enough that we're getting food sent to us.
All right. Nice. All right, so yeah, Critical Role, let's see, was airing years ago, and then sourced the funds for this show, and so I think I was delving a little bit into D&D, but then watching this, the first season anyway, got me to go back and watch Critical Role actual YouTube live casts, and I would have that on the background as I do other things, and it was pretty cool to learn D&D through watching that show quite a bit. So they go from Greystone Keep. The dragons are also on the attack there, and let's see if I get a shot at that. I'm just looking at the trailer, so it jumps around. From there, they use Keyless teleport spell. She somehow makes a portal through a tree, and they go from their keep to Whitestone, which is Percy de Rollo's area, quite a bit further, I think, inland. So from there, they go to Whitestone, and they take some of the people are like trying to get away from the dragons. But there was hardly any. There was no running, right? They had to teleport and then teleport again to get away from this mess.
Because Borogal was hot on their trail, or in this case, cold on their trail.
Oh, clever.
Right there. But yeah, I loved his design with his big lower jaw. He reminds me more like a rhinoceros head or something. He's so cool.
Yeah, I agree. I think of him as more of an earth dragon. He should be an earth dragon instead of that, ice blue dragon.
Because he's almost like Rocky.
Exactly, with the whole horn. And,
Yeah.
Rhinoceros-like.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's pretty much episode 1. They talk briefly about Vasselheim, and that leads us into episode 2. Episode 2 is called The Trials of Vasselheim. So from that first episode, epic episode, we get another back-to-back episodes here. They teleport again to try to find Vasselheim through a tree, but Keyleth has never been there.
I love how the old woman was just so vague and she doesn't remember. I think it was a tree. I'm
Right.
just like,
There was a tree. There was a big tree, but in classic rolling somewhat of a fail, low number, you fall out of a cliffside from this little tree and have to react. Scanlan does his magic butt cushion to save some of them from damage, and they march towards this temple. There is some pretty funny talk from these two characters. Here you can see Grog with the sword on his back. He has the Craven Blade.
mhm.
Yep, from Silas Briarstone, or Briarwood, rather.
It basically is cursed, and
And he doesn't know how to handle it.
yeah, we'll see how that goes the rest of the journey here.
Yeah, it can't go very well when you're keeping it from your friends.
Right?
That's
And,
driving me
Gilmore
nuts about what he's doing. It's driving me nuts. Like, dude, come on, Pike is onto you, man.
She knows, yep. But Gilmore even
she's
said it has
know.
black magic.
Yeah, yeah. Be careful with that stuff.
Yeah. Do you know what you're doing?
Yeah, on top of being a raging barbarian, he's got this bloodthirst,
Exactly.
lust, and it's rough. We get moments of levity here with the belt.
Yes.
That was good.
The belt of bearding.
He's so happy.
That's all it does, I guess. I think you can actually roll, like for magic items. Sometimes it's the side effect, right? The side effect is you grow a beard or lose your hair. Or your hair will grow another color. So, fair warning, guys that want to.
Great. Don't mess with my hair, man. Don't mess with my hair.
The DM to the players. So let's see here. So they go into the temple. Good day, good day, good day, and
Good day.
This is basically a city that has all the temples. It has your Wild Mother temple. It has the Storm Lord temple. It has a Lawbearer temple, which I think is just the capital. But Everlight's there, Raven Queen's there, and I'm sure a whole slew of other deity temple worship areas.
Vasselheim sounds very Norse.
Yeah, it does. Agreed.
It was in the north. If you find the maps, it's like across the sea to the west and north of them. There was a Easter egg for the Wild Mother. Who's in campaign 2? Taliesin plays. What's that?
S? Does it start with an S? I can't think.
I know I can't think of his name. Clay, Caduceus Clay, is a Furbolg, and he worships the Wild Mother. He's a pretty funny character. And if you look very closely when they show the Wild Mother temple, you can see Caduceus Clay.
Oh, really?
I missed that one. I have to watch it again.
Yeah.
I know of 2 Easter eggs in the first season.
Yeah.
One has to do with something they pull out of the bag of holding.
Yep, exactly. That was in the first episode
Yes.
of the second season. Yep.
Yes. And then there was some, but I don't know what. I know it's an Easter egg because my kids told me, but I don't know what it's an Easter egg to.
Well, it's a spoiler show, so don't hold back.
The book in Gilmore's shop.
Oh, Tusk Love?
Oh, yeah.
Is that
Is
what
it
it
that
is?
one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what it refers to. I don't know where they run across it playing the game and what that's all about. But I know they put it in the show because it's an Easter egg. That's all I know.
All right. Well, that's gonna be huge. I mean, they announced since we're still just kind of jumping around a little bit, they announced that they got approval to do the Mighty Nine, which is their second campaign. For an animated show also. So I'm not sure if they're going to do season 3. I would think they would need 3 of Vox Machina to kind of kick it off.
I think I heard somewhere they greenlit season 3.
And then I could see them do one more season, sum it up, and pass the reins to. It's in the same world, if you will, but they start over from level 1 and go through all the trials and tribulations as different characters and classes.
That's going to be weird to see them doing different voices. I know where to find it. I know I'm going to watch it as soon as I'm done with the 500 hours of online content I have to watch.
So I'm up to episode 100 of campaign 2, which is exactly when the pandemic hit. So I've watched all pre-pandemic where they're sitting around the table and doing their thing.
Oh, okay.
And I knew it was coming close. Like, what's gonna happen? And they're like, "Sorry, we took a break," and they're all on their own little screens. It looked like the same room though. Like maybe they had plexiglass and figured the thing out. So I'm starting to see what they're doing moving forward, and that might give me hints as we do our virtual gaming. But yeah, there's some characters in there that we'll cover later, other than the one I just mentioned. So, Platinum Sanctuaries, where they meet some of the Lawbearer bigwigs. Before they tell their story, a water vision is presented, and they see this dragon attack. But they're having none of it.
Yep,
Well,
I think that's going to be too, well, I don't know. Maybe they'll be okay, but I think they're being very arrogant, and they think that their city walls will hold back dragons. Like, dragons fly over the walls, no matter how high they are. And these guys are badasses.
So they get a little help. I guess maybe pun intended. A guy comes out the side door and tells them about, I think, where to find the patron of the Slayer's Take to get help, or somewhere in there leads them to these vestiges of the Divergence, all these magical weapons that they're gonna start acquiring. What a great campaign arc to throw at you guys. Like, all right, first you have to all collect one super like legendary artifact, and then take on the big bad.
Well, and as I'm watching the first attack of the dragons, I'm like, how are they ever going to be able to defeat these guys?
Right. But the Sphinx is the one that talks about the vestiges in that episode, right? Oistra?
Right.
Okay.
Yes. So, at the same time, the Queen of Ravens is kind of lurking in the shadows, and as they go through the Slayer's Take, where the hunters for hire are basically bounty hunters. They go back and forth. Zara and Cash are somewhat familiar with them, and but then they're summoned down below to this Sphinx, Osisa, and she tells them about these vestiges of Divergence. One being the Deathwalker's ward, which is black leather and feather armor of the Raven Queen, and it is in this same area, right? Or no, they have to go to.
Yeah.
They have to go to.
They have to go to her to the tomb of her champion.
The tomb.
Exactly.
Under the
Pervon.
lake, right?
Right.
Yep. Under the
So
lake. Yep.
before we leave Vasselheim,
Yes.
there was a little person, a child, that Grog speaks to, that doesn't answer him back and just scowls at him with the green eyes. Is that Reshawn, the green dragon?
That's what I was
Question
thinking.
mark?
Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe. We're thinking the green dragon. Yeah, might
Because
be
she
able
she can do that. That's one of her
The
powers.
blue dragon also took human form
Exactly.
and tricked people. So,
And it was the
They do
green
magic.
dragon that saw Caliph in Brimstone's lair.
Yep.
The one eye that opened and saw her, that my understanding that was Rayshawn.
so there's a lot going on here.
Yeah.
We're digging into all the Easter eggs. There's also another nice thing at the end of episode 2 where Percy buys some black powder.
It looked like it was the Airbender Boomy, if you've ever seen
Yeah.
Avatar: Last Airbender. That's
I
who it
haven't.
reminded me of.
Yeah. there's some definitely some Airbender Easter eggs, I think, hidden into their lore.
Yeah.
And this guy's funny, and I'm positive was voiced by Matt Mercer, of course, as most of the NPCs are. So that concludes our episode 2. Episode 3 is called The Sunken Tomb. So,
but also that hidden Easter egg was Ripley, right? He had seen Ripley at the black powder store.
Oh yeah,
not
yeah.
Percy, but yeah.
Oh right. He'd sold more black powder to is it Ripley?
To a woman with one hand.
Yes, but if you watch the first season, you know it's Ripley.
It's Ripley, yeah.
Yeah.
Who now has apparently borrowed a hand from Iron Man or something.
Right. Yeah, that was weird. D&D.
Yep.
Fantasy.
To be continued. Yep.
Yes.
So yeah, good catch. I knew there was something there, some reason to have that there. So yeah, the third episode follows the characters to this lake where a temple or a tomb is sunken into under the water. They have a little help with Zara and Cash to first save Scanlan and then part the waters. Wow.
Yeah.
They're powerful.
I mean, if you're ever going underwater, you might want to take some water breathing potions.
Something. Yeah.
I don't have to. Ha 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 ha.
Yeah, that's right. You're safe.
Good to know.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I can also move water around, so we're good there too.
Yeah.
Maybe not as good as Zara, but yeah.
Right? Nice. So let's see here. There's also some flashbacks going on with Vex and Vax as kids. You guys enjoying the flashback stuff?
Yes, especially Baby Trinket.
Yes, Baby Trinket. That was cool.
Baby
and
Trinket,
so and the bandits that they rescued him from, those were all Draconians, right?
Think so, yeah.
They look like their heads were cool. They look like dinosaurs, like more than dragons. They look more like a T-Rex, but that's a cool race.
Or they could have been kobolds.
I don't know. I mean, that's just what the way they were drawn, but
right.
No, it's cool. I mean, it's like, yeah, we have to have this necessary dialogue and character building with the emotions of the two of them and their dynamic. Let's just move it along. Get back to the fighting dragon.
Yeah. But yeah. The fans of the show are appreciating that, and I like that they're showing a lot of Keyleth also her parentage and her powers, jumping around, and even Grog. We see like hints of the herd of storm breakers or something, and let's see. We'll talk about it soon, I think. First, they go to the sunken tomb. There are a lot of tomb traps, as you do. In
that was great.
Lots of cool.
Grog failed.
Oops. Yep.
Yeah.
Trigger the trap. There it is. Good way to do it in a show like this is just show it happen, and then
exactly. He failed all his rolls.
Almost.
He failed all his rolls, but he must have rolled high on all his acrobatics because he didn't get hurt, and no one else got hurt.
You trigger it and then still get by. Then there's an attack. We have some fish dudes. Not sure what their monster class or name is, but you gotta expect something like that underwater. But a little surprise with that was also that they had a mage.
Yeah, interesting.
I love that. Was it Vex or the other? What's the other character's name? The
Zara.
What is it?
Zara.
Zara. Thank you. Which one of them called out that it was a mage? I thought that was really cool because it's like a little bit of exposition for D&D to people who don't know. But I was like, oh, great, they have a mage.
Right.
Thanks for helping us,
I
beginner
think,
people.
yeah, especially us learning D&D, some of us anyway. I just want to be upfront with like some of the names, not be try to be too secretive about what's going on. Although, as we
It's
get more,
okay. We've got Nikki and Kevin. All you have to do is describe it or show a picture. They'll be like, "Oh, that's a blah blah blah."
yeah,
No, I appreciate everything you're doing because I haven't played in forever, and I don't know. I always had somebody who was a lot more not intelligent, but more knowledgeable about D&D being by my side on everything.
Right.
So,
well,
walking me through.
You're in the top tier now, so experience. So you got to guide these people.
Trying.
As I baby step my DM skills to do things like this. So in the show, Vox Machina, let's see here. Rog has some rage with the sword, and there's definitely some bloodthirst going on with fish.
Yeah, I think that was the first big hint of his interaction with his sword and the bloodlust.
I thought there was more interaction with the monk in the episode 2 when he was going through his quote trial when they were with the Sphinx.
Well, there was a little bit with the sword, but then the sword was flung off to the side, and the rest of his trial had to do with just himself.
True.
And I did like that he left the arena without knowing the answer.
I know.
I like that because it I was afraid it was just going to be, okay, we're going to have this part of Grog's story arc. They're going to like set it up, tell us, give us the answers, and then okay, now we've got this easy piece of the puzzle. But no, now he's on his own quest along with the big quest. Like everybody is. Everybody's on their own little quest. Like the female Sphinx kind of revealed all their weaknesses as she was seeing if they were worthy and qualifying them, and then
like Sphinx do.
Like Sphinxes do. Yeah.
Very cryptic.
And good old Pike says, we just want somebody to listen to us. We don't care. Good answer.
Yep,
Good
exactly.
answer. Yeah.
It definitely helped.
Very honest. Yeah.
Or they would have died.
Well,
so then we're back to Bloodlust Sword.
Yes.
And
I was gonna say, Nikki. Speaking of death,
Uh-huh.
poor Vex and Percy explore the wrong sarcophagi and trigger a trap with, I believe, in game a critical fail, causing her to insta die.
Ooh.
In
Yeah,
the
that
game
was
/
sad.
also in the show. So you see Vex eyes go cold, the soul leaves the body, and there's this sliver that they've done in the intro, I think, which is interesting. The story arcs.
Oh, they do, yeah.
Yeah, I'm wondering if that kind of weaving of the story arc in the beginning is also kind of Vex and Vax, soulmates, twins. So
Well,
Vax,
that's my question. When she used her clawed finger and cuts the thread,
Yeah.
what does that mean? Is she severing the link between the two twins?
She was gonna sever the link and take that soul.
Right, but that was after he says, "Take me instead." So is she like, okay, well, I
That was before or near the same time she was taking that soul. And then
right. Well, and because when I went back to rewatch it, I'm like, what was the sequence of events? Because I was very curious about what impact is that going to have? Because there's obviously a subplot about Vex and Vax's twin relationship and how, Vax is almost obnoxious with his overprotectiveness of Vex, and Vex is super annoyed by that all the time. And yet you go back to the childhood and it, reveals that it's like, I'm not afraid of losing. Well, how does he put it? He needs her.
Yeah, exactly.
He's like, you don't need me as much as I need you, kind of a thing. So when she severs that link, is that going to mean something for their relationship, or because she said take me instead? Is there going to be something? Is there going to be something more to Vax's relationship with the Raven?
Well, yeah, definitely, because you can see the string in one of
right, and it kind of reflects in his armor, and that armor is bound to him. He can't even take it off now.
Right.
But was that it? Was him saying take me instead? Was that she's like, okay, well now you're going to be my champion, and that's kind of the end of the story, or is there going to be something later where
conversation, Larry, and Vax is questioned by his sister, you know? No, this doesn't change anything, she says, and he says, this
changes everything.
Everything. Yep.
Oh yeah, these are all pieces of the puzzle. I'm waiting to see what happens next.
We'll see how they can mend parts of that connection. Let's talk about that vestige. So cool. After he says, take me instead, he becomes the guardian. Well, almost. There's like I don't know if it's in the next episode, but he's starting to become the guardian of the Raven Queen. And worthy of this ancient armor, legendary armor. What do we call the armor even? I think it's the Dark Walker's vestige or something like that. Death Walker. But she's like the Queen of Death or something. So man, that was like crazy cliffhanger kind of. I mean, if they could have left her dead and not done the resurrection. Good of Cash to try. A resurrection spell. You gotta, you can certainly try if you want to do anything in the game.
I heard it was really hard to do that though, because you have to do like 10 rolls, especially in the game itself, and they have to be perfect.
Perfect, like death saves 10 in a row. Yeah.
Yep.
Yikes.
You did really well.
And is that what happened when they played the game?
I don't know. I haven't gotten to that part. I know other parts, but yeah.
I'm pretty sure, yes, that that attempt was to resurrect was done, but
because I remember them talking about before they started recording themselves, the same thing happened to Pike.
Yeah, and they had to do a resurrection to her.
Yeah.
And it took like 10 rolls, and they almost didn't succeed.
Yeah, because they talked about that.
Yeah.
Well, that's coming up maybe because Grog gets Pike.
Yeah, I was wondering that too, if they were going back to that, so I didn't want to say anything yet.
That's the end of season 6 or episode 6. So.
I'm like, seriously, dude, you're gonna? It's only been like what? It was 3 episodes that we lost Vex, and now we got to do the same thing to Pike, and Pike is your healer, and we don't have what's his name Paladin with us, Kashon.
Yep.
And then they get split up. I'm going right to the very end. I'm just jumping to the end. But
I'm like, what are you doing?
I'll shut up.
All right.
We have to go back to the vision quest that Vax has with Pervon. Great name.
In episode 4.
In episode 4.
Okay, so yes. So episode 4 is called Those Who Walk Away. We'll fast forward a little bit to that because there's more flashbacks of Vex and Vax. The Poachers and Baby Trinket is actually there. Oh, the Resurrection Try is... Oh, so this is... They did cliffhanger it for 3, and then they went into this Resurrection.
Yeah, so we had to wait a whole entire week.
This was, so we already been talking to episode 4. So there's the vision of the battle. What did you want to talk about? I mean, it's pretty cool, Larry.
I mean, I thought it was it paralleled Grog's fight because they're both getting their asses kicked, and I loved the graphicness that you typically don't see in an animated show of, he crushes his ankle, breaks his ankle, and then he's trying to get up and his fingers are all broken and everything. I thought that was great, and then he finally just says, I guess, I mean, because again, I've watched it twice to see what was it that allowed Purvan to pass through him and deem him worthy. It's when he basically said, what happens, happens.
Take me.
And I'm kind of like, so what does that mean, what happens, happens? I mean, what kind of a...
I think it's more like, take me. I'm now yours. You're under your
Okay,
power.
and that's kind of where I was going, but I was like, it's kind of a weird... He wasn't really like... Because there's always the plot device of the surrender. And he didn't really truly do that. He was reiterating words that he said to Vex. But maybe that's it. Maybe that was his way of doing that, but that allowed Purvan to go right through him, and I noticed the second time around, that's when the armor switched, because when Purvan was getting it, when he was on the ground,
I've read a little bit about
the armor.
I've read about some of the other vestiges, and they have like ordinary +1, and then they're activated, and they have a +2, and then there's another kind of legendary activation. So
it's like Pokemon.
Just like characters, your weapons can level up. And, so I think it's activating, like giving that true power. So so his power is speed. So we see this pretty soon as Zara releases a beholder-ish monster from the
Seriously.
What's the name of that thing? It's another thing. I know it's a monster in the monster manual somewhere. It's a thing.
Well, I think it is a beholder, but
Yeah,
they danced around it in this show to...
All right, fine. You're going to make me look it up. I'll look it up. It's not a beholder. It's something else.
Okay.
I promise.
Right.
I promise.
Yep.
Yep.
It also petrifies, and Grog, Percy, Keyleth, Zara, Pike, Scanlan, and Trinket all get turned to stone.
Right.
So
all while Vax is behind the rock, in his vision quest, and then he comes out and he badasses the F out of that.
He crit.
So cool.
He definitely crit.
Yeah.
Zephyr Speed, what's your spell?
Yeah, it's
Zephyr Smite or something.
It's Zephyr.
Zephyr something. What is it?
Zephyr Smite.
Where's my thing?
Or something.
My character card's right here. Load, damn you.
So his enchanted speed
Zephyr Strike.
and strikes this thing in the eye, and meanwhile Cash was actually curing the party, which was interesting. I thought maybe after watching it the second time I was thinking, oh, he kills the monster and that's what breaks the spell. Go ahead.
I was saying bye, Ivan.
Oh.
Bye, Ivan. He's got Lego. He's got to go out and buy Lego.
Later. Thanks for tuning in.
And I just love how his dagger is spinning and just missing all the tentacles, and it's just being perfect.
Yep.
It's just a perfect
Right to that
strike.
eye. Yep.
And then he comes through and does a swinging, spinning roundhouse and kicks it further into his eye.
Yep.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Love it.
I was surprised that Cash didn't get turned in, or petrified either. So
Yeah,
way
he
to
was
go for
curing
rolling high.
He was curing
Yeah.
the party, so he might have. He is also some. I'm not sure what class he is.
He's a paladin, right?
Could be.
I think so.
Zara, by the way, rewards Vex with the trinket for Trinket, which is kind of fun.
The trinket
I'm
for Trinket.
Yes.
Which name came first, or how that all happened. But that was pretty cool. And Vax sees another vision of a crazy death and zombie version of himself. And I don't know what's going on there.
Yeah.
There's also, right before the end of this episode, a spy that's like watching them through a sphere or a ball and like recording it.
It's what's her name?
It's Ripley.
It's Ripley.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's when you see her metal hand holding the crystal ball.
Oh, man. So she's gonna out them to the dragons, and the end of the next episode. So we're on to episode 5 here. We're 55 minutes in, not too shabby. Pass Through Fire. This is the Keyleth episode, and man, this is kind of why I wanted to talk this show, because Keyleth is the bomb. They show her mom in a flashback with the wind power and a lot of Avatar stuff going on here, right, Nikki?
Absolutely, yeah, for sure.
Grog, unless you want to talk about that more, there's a funny moment where Grog's popping a squat and talking to his sword.
Scanlan sings the pooping song.
Asking Scanlan to sing, yep. Any song you need Scanlan to sing, he'll do it.
Nice.
So funny.
Yep.
He also flies around in his broom for the first time and sees this active volcano in the distance, which is maybe the direction. I don't think they were going that direction, or I'm not sure.
No, because Vex has to call Vax out on the fact that Vax is like, no, we got a job to do.
Oh, right.
Because Keyleth takes off. She turns into an eagle.
And like, I'm going this way.
She went to Pyra.
Which is really cool the way she did that.
Yeah.
And she's like, yeah, Keyleth would have dropped everything for you, so don't be a dick.
Exactly.
And you love her.
She does, and he does.
Yeah, but I think he's in a mood because of his new armor.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Who knows how long that's gonna last?
Right.
Well, it can't figure it out, so it might be tough to.
Yep.
Yeah, do anything now.
Messages are no joke.
Yeah. Seriously.
Let's see here. So there's a volcano with a rift to a fire plane. That's, the worst thing kind of going on here. Her dad's, Keyleth's dad's there, and another flame speaker of the Ashari.
The Fire Ashari.
Yes, from Pyra.
So there's some backstory with that guy's one arm, and his name is Sir Kronos or something. There's also Kima and Allura are there fighting off these fire beasts, little dragon-looking birds, killing everybody in this volcano area. So.
And then you learn that Allura and Kima were the ones that trapped Thordak in the plane.
Right, yeah. Keyleth's like, what's going on? Oh, this is where we trapped. We thought we, trapped him forever, but somehow he got out. And Allura and Kima are like, should we go get your friends and bring them back to help? And Keyleth says the DM's slogan, you can certainly try.
Yep.
And I get a big kick out of that. The backstory on that soul anchor binding that red dragon, it's pretty crazy.
Seriously.
Yeah, and I guess the lore or the story behind that, it was actually Rishon, the dragon, the green dragon, that frees him. Right. Because I think it was with Brimscythe, they had something else that took that soul anchor, diminished the soul anchor, but it was also hurting Thordak. It was taking his power, so they had to release him a little early, according to what I was reading. But yeah, it was the other dragons that were able to get rid of that soul anchor, so he could break through the rift. And
something's definitely going on between all them dragons.
Yeah.
Pretty cool. Well, Vex gets her turn to fly around on the broom, and has to make a deal with Scanlan to learn that word, but we'll find out what happens later there. Keyleth is listening to her mom's voice in the wind, and walks right into that fire dimensional door. That was ballsy. She's she's like,
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
because that goes back to what her mom said at the very beginning of the episode.
Right. It won't hurt you if you don't let it.
Mhm.
And she basically turns into, like she was the bird. She becomes a fire elemental, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah, she could.
A huge guardian elemental, just taking things out that were trying to
She's
get
so
through.
hot that she's burning up all the fiery things. I love that. I'm like, dang, fight fire with fire.
Yeah.
Yes, fight fire with fire. That was the way. That was amazing. She comes out in a normal form. Vax is holding the staff. Little funny nod there, and she earns her fire trial. There's a little ceremony. She gets the fire and the wind now under her belt. So we'll see how else she can level up. But man, yeah, that was amazing.
And now she looks all red.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
Vax comments on her new look.
Yep.
And so, in addition to red clothes, she also has the red gem in her. I don't know if is it in her antler crown thing. I imagine it's probably an addition to her crown, not something that's like embedded into her skull or anything.
She could be Raven. Who knows?
Could be Raven.
Anyway,
But yeah, that was a cool. She got a cool upgrade. That was
Yeah.
awesome.
big
Yeah.
upgrade there. There's some little teasers before the end of the episode where the barbarian herd is fighting off, or they're offering gold to one of the dragons and trying to.
I think it's Rayshon that they're giving tribute to.
Yeah.
And that's when what's her name comes up.
Ripley.
Ripley.
The spy.
How can I not? Why can't I remember the name Ripley?
Aliens. Come on.
Alien. Sigourney Weaver and Alien. Ripley. Believe it or not, it's Ripley.
There you go. Think about that too.
Ripley. Believe it or not, it's
Yeah.
Ripley. Okay. And so she comes up and she starts talking smack to the dragon. Which,
Says need a bargain or I'm gonna kill you.
you know,
Yeah, you'll want to listen to her. So, yeah, very interesting episode 5, and it does not slow down in episode 6. This one is named Into the Rhyme Clef, and I believe that is the second Sphinx, or something about his temple or something. The second Sphinx is Kamajori, something like that. Kamajori. And
Kamajori?
Cammy for short.
Cammy. Yeah.
Cammy for short.
Cammy.
Cammy.
Let's see here. So they go there. Let's see. Also, in the beginning of the episode, Grog has a vision of killing a bunch of people in an arena, and right through his friends. He wakes up and still just tries to shake it off and not own it. So, still some lessons learned there. So Rhyme Cleft is this area. They're searching for the second Sphinx. It's an eternally cold area. Percy reads the ruins again, and this time it just says something about being up high. So Vex flies her broom up to see the secret door as the pillars align.
I thought that was a stretch. Because they said it could mean this or it could mean heavens. And they're like, oh, maybe I'll fly up in my broom then. Because that makes perfect sense, that line of thinking. I'm like, how'd you get there? Okay, whatever. It's just to hurry the story along.
Yeah.
From there, the Sphinx just, tells them right up front, you have 3 options to get some info from me. You want to fight 70 death gorgons, or do you want to go through the endless labyrinth of misery, or wound him? He's never been hurt before, and they think they can scratch this deity. Did you guys think that would go so swiftly?
I'll say I knew it was going to have to be an emotional hurt right from the get-go. I'm like, you can't hurt a Sphinx.
Yeah.
I mean, if he's he's an eternal being. He's never been injured physically, so everyone else is going to automatically think that. I didn't really know who was going to do it, although I was kind of like, well, Scanlan's the least physical of the gang, so...
Yeah, he picks off all of them. Bing, 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 bing.
Oh, yeah. Just flicks them off the cliff.
They're out of there. I think I stopped in a
because it was a one-on-one battle for each one of them.
There.
When you froze that on his face, I thought you're like, why did we go to an image of Kang? It looked just like Kang.
Yeah. Soon, Larry, soon.
And all of those people fell into a void.
Yeah.
But are still alive.
Right.
I've been falling for 30 minutes!
So, Scanlan's love song.
That was so cool. I really liked it. Normally I don't go for that mushy stuff, but man, I thought it was a well done Scanlan.
Yeah, it's a good song.
Yeah. He used his brain.
Yep.
It made him cry a tear.
What? Can't believe that worked.
I know.
Yeah.
Scanlan actually used his brain instead of other parts.
He was sincere. That's why.
Ding, ding, ding.
Finally.
Because Osisa said he couldn't. He could never be sincere. So.
True.
Right. Pike also is like, can't you ever be serious? So he's rewarded with another vestige. This is the Myth Carver sword.
Myth Carver. I love that he sings to it.
Yep.
I believe the Myth Carver sword itself will have some magic tones or something when we see it in use. So
when we get it back.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
So
but it's going to show us all the other vestiges too.
Yeah.
Right.
The
so
bow,
he has a vision.
and the gauntlets.
Magic bow, gauntlets. Who knows what else? There's a dagger, I believe, called Whisper. Percy gets some sort of armor or something. So all that's to come. Umbrasil, the dragon attacks, the Sphinx, and the party. You know, Grog's doing some damage, drawing some blood. The sword's liking it, and he's raging out of control. And that's where, after the Sphinx saves Scanlan, and dies from the dragon, which is crazy. Grog is still going ballistic and accidentally pierces Pike with the Raven Edge.
Impales her. So there was something I was wondering during that battle when he's fighting the dragon, because one of the things about that sword is the sword will give the strength of the victim to Grog.
Mm-hmm.
And you didn't really see that. So I'm like, dude, he's getting imbued with dragon blood. This thing, I mean, I was wanting to see Grog just all of a sudden get even more ragier.
Mm-hmm.
Hashtag
Think
ragier.
of roles in D&D. That's all you kind of have to do.
Yeah, I guess so.
Which is what I really like about it too.
Yeah.
Is you can actually pick out when they fail and when they don't.
Mm-hmm.
Sure. So I don't know if it was because of the bloodlust or because he crit failed, but Pike's in trouble, and the party is separated. They teleport off to the Fey realm where they believe they can find the vestige of the magic bow, right? Because it has kind of like Everwood or something. And
Scanlan sees a dream or a vision of it when he was holding the sword to go to the Fey world.
So they go, but something goes wrong. Another bad dice roll, I believe.
Probably.
Teleporting somewhere you don't know is always...
Well, and because Kalis was like she needed more time to fully do the spell, and Grog wasn't hurrying up enough. But then once he got there, they're like, "Oh crap! Here comes the dragon. We gotta go now." And then I think because the dragon, kind of like when it reminded me of when Hela was chasing Thor and Loki through the Bifrost, and gets thrown out of the Bifrost. That kind of reminds me of that. It's like Grog and Scanlan and Pike got thrown out of the spells channel, and who knows where they are now.
Exactly.
I know.
I can't wait till Friday.
And Pike.
Oh yeah, Pike too. Yeah.
I don't know what's coming. You know.
So let's talk about what do you think's going to happen? Pike can't die.
No.
Can she? No, she can't die.
Well,
maybe Ashley Johnson's way too highly paid, and they're just like, we can't take you through the whole season.
I don't think.
So how do you think? Because they don't have Kashan to heal. They don't have Pike to heal herself. What are they going to do?
I mean, Keyleth knows how to heal. She has healed.
Who?
But they're separated.
Keyleth.
Yeah, but they're separated.
Well, if they ever find her, yes. I know. Yeah. Hopefully they can do.
But she has a hole from here to here. It's right through the middle of her body. Do you think the Everlight's going to help her? Do you think her gods are going to help cure her? Maybe. That's my only guess. Unless they appear in a temple somewhere, or go back to what are the who are the characters from Iman? The sorceress woman. Allura. Maybe somebody've run across someone like Allura. I don't know. They're gonna need help though.
Yeah.
Pike is dying.
Or is already dead. Who knows?
Or is already dead.
I think she'll be with Grog though. I don't think they've gotten separated where they're completely all apart.
Yeah,
maybe Scanlan resurrects her with a kiss.
Scanlan does have healing ability too, so yeah.
He will probably try.
He definitely will, especially with kiss.
He's like, kissing? Well, I'll do it.
I know the sword doesn't work like a poison cursed sword where you break the sword, but I know Pike would probably want Grog to definitely lose this weapon after this incident.
Oh yeah, I think there's going to be.
Although in gameplay, I think it continues quite a bit. So there's no knowing really what's in front of them. But splitting the party is always a good idea. So yes.
Doing their own vision quests too. Woo-hoo.
Yeah. We can talk vision quests and critical brick stuff post show. I don't want to spoil too much critical brickiness, but we're probably ready to end this episode. We've talked a lot of Vox talk, and thanks for being here, guys. It's been a different kind of show. Had to read up, and I've been watching. It wasn't too tough, so appreciate you guys doing your homework a little bit and being here and talking us through all the theories and Easter eggs.
Loving it.
I had so much fun. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. People in chat, people on the replay, thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to hit that like button. Subscribe if you like this content, Lego and D&D. It's going to be a lot of that from Jesse's Brick Galaxy this year. Tune in Friday for our third episode of Critical Bricks, where we are further into the Sunless Citadel, about to get into the Goblin Lair area. So
with a dragon.
Yeah, looking for a dragon, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So we'll see you guys on Friday. Until then, is it Friday yet?